WGIG, What's Good in Galilee presents Midweek Update.
I'm Christy Richardson.
And I'm Lisa Powell.
And this is
Midweek Update.
As we all know, there has been a fishing drought on the shores of Galilee recently. Fishing has been slim pickings until early this morning. Fisherman Simon Peter and his company, 12 guys in a boat, weighed in with record-breaking amounts of fish to be caught in one catch and with one throw of the net. When asked about his strategy, the big idea that led to this windfall in the fishing industry, Peter offered this advice to all fishermen: throw your nets on the other side of the boat.
That's it?
Apparently.
Okay. Moving on, we do want to pay our respects and pay tribute to the well-known and well-respected Lazarus, who passed away earlier this week after a brief but sudden illness. And thank you, Christy. Never mind. He seems to be alive and well. Moving on to our main story of the night.
On this day today, we take note of the day that Jewish forefather Joseph became vice president of Egypt. This is no ordinary story of a man's traditional rise to power. And this is no ordinary story of a Jewish man's leadership in his Israeli tribe. Joseph's story is a unique story, one of vision, beauty, treachery, and rescue.
Joseph was one of 12 brothers in the land of Canaan, and his father, Jacob, was known for how much he loved his son. Joseph was known for his good looks and his unique ability to interpret his beautiful, complicated, and prophetic dreams. He was a man of beauty and, unfortunately, a braggadocio. He was confident, overconfident, and between his father's clear favor and is informing his brothers daily that his dream spoke of them serving him, Joseph, the results were treacherous. Out of spite, anger, and jealousy, his brothers sold Joseph into slavery, where he was brought to the country of Egypt. Joseph was a smart man, but he was an unlucky man as well.
His time in Egypt started with false accusations and unfair imprisonment. He spent years in prison, alone, no family, abandoned, jobless, and with a lifelong prison sentence. His big break came only when his gift of interpreting dreams came into play. After impressing fellow prisoners, a baker, and a butler of the Pharaoh by interpreting their dreams, he was called for by none other than the president of Egypt himself, the Pharaoh.
Joseph put his unique talent to good use, his God-given talent, and soon impressed Pharaoh as well. It didn't take long for the Pharaoh to see that Joseph was smart and wise. Joseph's hard years in Egypt had hurt him, humbled him, and carved him into the man that God designed and created for such a time as this. Joseph became one of Pharaoh's top advisors, and eventually, on this day, thousands of years later, we celebrate the day that Joseph, a Jewish immigrant, slave, and ex-convict, became the vice president of Egypt. And through his leadership and grace, he forgave his brothers and saved his family and his Jewish people from famine, death, and despair. The unlikely leader brought peace and fellowship between the Jews and the Egyptians for many decades to come. And that is what happened on this day.
And now a few words from our sponsors.
Need a little help getting that Galilee grime out from between your toes? Call the ultimate foot washer at JC Nazareth. Open 24/7, but the last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
Is that right?
Yes.
How do you run a business like that? Who is this guy? Oh, sorry. Well, let's keep going. Got crushing camel odor? Distressed about dreadful dromedary stink? Alderspice presents Camelot, the dromedary deodorant for the domestic camel. No longer do you have to worry about carrying that camel stink with you all day. Apply once in the morning and you'll have the freshest camel in Galilee. Camelot, one hump or two.
And remember, God is good
the time.
And all the time,
God is good.
and that's the best news of the night.
See you next week.